I'm Tony Stark. I build neat stuff. I got a great girl. And occasionally, save the world. So why can't I sleep?
You know, when Harrison Ford walked away from Star Wars, he always said that he wished that they'd killed off Han Solo. So I was wondering, there's been a lot of talk about when you're going to walk away from this series. I want to know how you want to walk away. Like, whenever you're done and you say, you know what, no more Tony Stark for me, how do you want your story arc to end?
I think more important than the arc, because that always kind of winds up being what it's supposed to be, is I just want people to feel, you know what, I appreciate that he didn't try to drag it out too long, but I also don't want to feel like he ditched us when we needed him. It's a really delicate thing.
It is, for sure. I'm getting all emotional even just thinking about it.
Dude, I'm crying. I literally, if I start crying, that means that I've been in too many markets.
Okay, fair enough. I can imagine different actors playing Batman. I can imagine different actors playing Superman. But I can't imagine anyone else playing Iron Man. But if that day comes,
yeah,
and someone else is going to do it, what sort of attributes do you think that next actor is going to have in order to pull off Tony Stark?
They're just going to be ballsy, and they have to pretend I never existed. But I also think that the filmmakers will help, because there's something Marvel has been really, really smart at doing, and that's defying expectations and going against what you might casually imagine, would happen. So I think they're really good, and I would trust them with whatever and whoever they did it with.
For sure, absolutely. Now, I love the different layers in this movie, seeing how Tony's having to deal emotionally with the events that took place in the Avengers.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, obviously, there are 1,000 great things that came out of the Avengers for you. What's the worst thing that you've had to deal with as a result of the Avengers?
I can't say that there's a downside, save for the fact that when you realize that, obviously to date, and the numbers aren't in on Iron Man 3 yet.
Right.
It's the most successful of the franchise, and it had to do, again, as usual, with the power of a partnership with many others. And I'm not like Tony in that I can become completely self-obsessed, but when you get all this attention, you fly around the world and people are going nuts, and China and Korea and Russia and Germany and all that, you start to think that, well, this really must be about me. And Avengers reminded me that it's very much not about me. It's about all these people and these beloved comic books.
But then we're back to it being about you again.
Thank you.
Which I'm totally cool with.
That departure was way too long.
Some of my favorite movies of all times are actually some of your films, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Chaplin. And it has always frustrated me that financially at the box office they didn't do great.
Yep.
So I was wondering if you could pick a movie from your past to come out today and ride on the success that you're having right now, which one would you like to come out and maybe have a chance to have a bigger audience?
Well, it's funny you'd say, because, Shane Black directs Iron Man 3 and he directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but I also like it, the ones that are kind of someone pulls you aside and mentions something that's a little bit obscure, so that they have their place in history.
I do love going to my friends and saying, hey, and slide my Kiss Kiss Bang Bang Blu-ray over and saying, watch this.
Thank you.
Mr. Downey, always an honor to sit across from me. If you ever come to Houston, I have a very comfortable fold-out couch.
You do?
You're very welcome to it,
Okay.
my friend. Good to see you, man.
What are you going to do about these attacks?
The whole world's going to be watching.
The question, where is Tony Stark?
Things are different now. I have to protect the one thing that I can't live without. That's you.
So we're just geeking out that this movie has so many great layers to it, and one of the great things is watching Pepper Potts see how Tony's dealing with the events of the Avengers. And I was wondering, you've obviously known Robert for a long time since you guys have made that. During the production of the Iron Man movies, what is the most interesting thing you've had to watch him deal with?
Well, when he broke his foot on this movie, he broke his ankle. It was really interesting to watch him going, sort of, because he was sort of on this big roll, and then it was like life just stopped him in his tracks,
right.
And to watch him sort of wrestle with that and not have the power to keep going and not have the power to, be the big movie star action hero. I think that was the most interesting thing, to watch him stop and have to integrate it and accept it, and it was interesting.
It's so great though to see Pepper Potts kind of get her moment to shine in this movie. She really kind of gets to step out of being just the cliche damsel in distress. So I was wondering if you had gotten the script and the script was just Pepper Potts being a damsel in distress, would you have been disappointed, or how would you have dealt with that? Would you have just kind of had to suck it up and deal with it?
Well, I kind of said going into it, if I'm gonna do a third one, what happens? Like, what's the thing?
Right.
Because I wasn't, I know I now am so choosy about movies, and I don't like to retread territory, so I say no to pretty much
Right.
everything. And I felt that about this, like it has to go somewhere. I'm not interested in just doing the same, like Tony.
Right, right. Would you have said no if
Yes, I would have.
Really?
Yeah.
How would they-
Probably not. Actually.
I was like, how would they have explained that?
I know, but I would have not. But I was basically what I'm trying to say is I was thrilled that she really, makes a big step in evolution in this film. And
Right. Right. I think one of the glue that really ties these movies together, obviously the great action, the special effects and everything, but it's the relationship between Tony and Pepper. And in a lot of ways, Tony needs Pepper to be Iron Man. Yeah. So I was wondering, in what ways does Robert need Gwyneth to pull this off?
I think that I'm a grounding person
Right.
on the set. I think I keep him sort of focused, and I'm not afraid of him. And I think a lot of people now, because he's such a big deal, are like, oh, we shouldn't say that and upset Robert. And I'm like, oh, shut up. That's a terrible idea, you know? And he knows that I do it with a lot of love. And, so I think there's value in the length of our relationship, and that it predates all this stuff.
For sure. For sure. Now, I as a movie geek, I am always in awe of sitting in front of someone that has won an Oscar. But as a comic book geek, I am in awe of sitting in front of someone who has been inside the Iron Man suit. So when you go home and you want to impress the people who are most important, which gets you more street cred? Is it the Golden Man or the Iron Man?
I mean, I've got kids around me all the time, so it's definitely the Iron Man.
The Oscar doesn't really go as far as
No.
being in the Iron Man suit.
They don't even know what it is. They could care less. They don't get it.
So have they seen that clip, or were you able to show them Mom gets to, this is what Mom gets to do this time?
I was fortunately able to have a little screening in London.
Oh, nice.
For the two of them and 17 other kids, and it was so much
Are you
fun.
just the coolest mom ever whenever that happens?
I was for 10 minutes.
Whatever it takes. any amount of time ever.
Until we got home, and I was like, we gotta finish homework, and then it was
And then it just goes back downhill. Pepper Potts would never make him do homework.
No.
I could talk to you all day. It's such a pleasure to get to sit across
Thank
from
you
you.
very
It's good
much.
to see you again.
I'll just,
fist
yes.
bump. She has wet nails. Fist bump. Good to see you again. Take care.
You elected me on a single platform. I will defend this country at all costs. The Mandarin must be stopped.
You don't know who I am. You'll never see me coming.
You're looking sharp today.
I have to be sharp. Look at you guys.
I'm doing my best. My grandmother said if you respect someone, you have to dress to show them.
Well,
so that's what I try to do.
You're a well-brought-up chap.
I'm doing my best. This is
Really?
I was raised as a movie geek, so this is my dream job.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I was raised watching Gandhi and Schindler's List, the important. So trust me, this is I have an appreciation for great cinema. So, Sir Ben, whenever you play a villainous character like that, and you kind of have to justify his actions and get to understand him, is there ever a fear that you're going to start to like them? I mean, is that a dangerous thing to like a villain that you're playing?
I don't think that I do get to like them. I think that the step towards not being seduced into liking them is that a great director did say to me a long time ago, and I took it to heart, you don't have to judge your character. You just have to show him to the audience. If I start to judge, I'm putting filters between me, my performance, and the audience. So I have to remove
Who's the director?
all the filters. It must have been Attenborough. Mm-hmm. If not Attenborough, then Spielberg. But it's been said by more than one, and then I took it on board. Don't judge him. So I just present him as the animal that he is.
Right.
The beast that he is.
Exactly. Now, the Mandarin obviously is one of, if not the most famous Iron Man villain. So, his comic book stories go back decades. So whenever you're an actor and you're on the set and you have the script in one hand and you have the comic book origins in the other, which one is more sacred to you?
Well, sacred is a good word. I think the script has to be sacred because the script of Iron Man 3 and that whole franchise is a script that will not ever dumb down an audience. It will never insult their intelligence or their capacity to judge a film on its merits, and therefore the script and the combination of the script and the writer-director that we work with That's what I hold dear, and that's what I hold on to. Very little improvisation in this film. Most of it is on the. Most of what happens is completely on the page when we started out.
Now, I hate to talk about the voice because I'm sure everyone's been doing it all day, but I'm curious as to, as an actor, what that eureka moment is. Whenever you're working on it, you're practicing it. When is that? What was that moment for you with this particular voice where you thought to yourself, "I got it"?
Well, that's my point exactly. When I read the script, I read in the script and saw on the screen in London our hero, our number one, Robert Downey Jr., saying he sounds like a Baptist preacher, and then he went on like a throwaway line.
Right.
There he is. That for me, there he is. You have to sound like somebody who is saying everything for the good of the audience. I'm sorry to say this, boys and girls, but it's true. That kind of repetitive rhythm in the voice of a preacher, of a teacher, and that was the eureka moment from the script. And then the following day, having had the eureka moment, I was asked by the wonderful Shane Black to assist in some voiceover for the first trailer.
Right.
And
for Comic-Con, I believe?
For Comic-Con.
Right.
Quite right. And I presented this voice, just Shane and I in the trailer, and he said, "That's it. That's it." So
you have to feel pretty good about yourself.
I got it from the script.
Well
Isn't that
done.
wonderful?
That's a testament to the script.
Yeah,
So
it
Ben,
is.
it is always an honor to sit across from you, my friend. When you come through Houston, my place is open to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'll see you again,
That's
sir.
Classic Houston welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Stark, today is the first day of what's left of your life.
Handsome man.
Thank you, you too.
Well, I appreciate
We
it.
should go out later.
I'm cool. If I could brag that you and I hang out, that'd be the coolest thing ever. So I'm gonna be honest. As a fan of War Machine, halfway through the Avengers, I thought to myself, "Where the hell is Rhodes?"
Yeah.
So just to please my comic book curiosity, what was Rhodes doing during all that stuff?
I mean, it's amazing that it took you halfway through the film to think that. 'Cause
Well, I thought it was gonna be you were gonna have like a grand entrance though.
yeah, I thought that 10 minutes in. I was like, where am I? Why aren't I in here?
Right.
You know, so, and who knows? Look, the Marvel worlds all intersect, and all these characters and storylines can be interwoven. So we'll see. Maybe he shows up in A2.
I was gonna, or have they talked to you about that, or how have they mentioned it to you?
Elliptically, we've discussed it. So,
Okay.
you know, look, when I signed on to do the films initially, I signed on for a slate. So
Right.
we'll see.
Well, I want to talk about that because as an actor, you're in a position where you can choose what you want to do based off the quality of it. But whenever you do these movies, you're kind of contracted for so many. Is there ever a fear of like, whether it sucks or not, I still have to do it? Like when you get that script, you're just praying that it doesn't suck.
Absolutely. I mean, I think they've got a great track record, and there is a lot to their credit, and ability to be a part of the construction of it. So I haven't ever just been given a script and gone, that's it, and you don't have any say now, just show up Monday. You
Right.
know? We get to be a part of the development of our characters, and in that way you feel like you're actually there for not just your ability to stand in a suit, but they want what you bring.
Right. Well, that's great to hear. That's so you protect yourself a little bit.
Yeah, as much as you can.
And so, kind of speaking of protecting yourself, when it comes to superheroes, a lot of times they use their alter egos to protect themselves and their family. So I was wondering, is there an equivalent of that for an actor? Like, how much of the man in front of me right now is an alter ego to who Don Cheadle really is?
This is a hologram. I'm
Oh
not even-
yeah.
I'm not even
That's
here.
how we're doing junkets these days. He's actually not even really here.
I'm at home in my pajamas.
Exactly.
Watching ESPN.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. One of the great things that this movie shows is that there is a downside to being a superhero sometimes, which is hard for an average person like me to believe. What is the biggest downside to playing a superhero?
The suit kind of, is binding.
But it's so cool, man.
I'd love for you to get in it, and
Oh, yeah.
then I'll interview you.
Okay, and then we'll talk about it?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll talk about it?
Yeah.
Rumors of Iron Man 4?
Start them. Get them going.
Okay.
Yeah. You leave this room and tell everybody it's happening, and then pick at Marvel until it does.
Rumors of a War Machine movie?
Even better. Make that happen. Do
Okay.
what you can. You do this a lot, right? You're in
I
front
do.
of a camera and a
I
mic.
do.
I think that should be your tagline.
Okay.
Whenever you sign off, that's what you should say.
I will do that if I can brag to people that I know you on a personal basis.
You don't already do that?
Well, I don't like to
Let's be
assume.
honest.
I don't like to. Oh, yes,
Then
I
you
do.
do it. Okay, so good. So you do that, and then you keep doing that, and we're good.
Sweet. Don, my friend.
There you go.
Good to see you when you come through Houston.
On your couch.
I'm bringing it over for a hug. I don't care what you say. I'm bringing it over. It's good to see you, my friend.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Be good.
I'm gonna offer the choice. Do you want an empty life or a meaningful death? You're not a man. You're nothing more than a maniac.
I'm not afraid of you. No politics here. Just good old-fashioned revenge.
So you guys kind of come into this with a bit of a disadvantage because all the other guys, Robert and Gwyneth, they get 2 movies to flesh out their characters, and you guys gotta kind of just jump right in. If you guys had those 2 extra movies, what are the aspects of your characters that you would have liked to explore it a little bit more?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, you know, I guess some of the,
question.
you know, a bit more of what we see back in 1999,
Yeah,
I
a little
suppose.
bit of that, a little bit of, you know, the kind of driven, brilliant Maya Hansen, who's
Right.
And the development, I suppose, the development over the years of working at AIM together.
Yeah.
You know, I guess that stuff. You know, just some of the history.
You guys, early in the film, your characters have moments with Tony Stark that kind of sum up everything you need to know about him. So I was wondering, what was that moment you've had with Robert Downey Jr. as an actor, where you met him and you thought, that sums up everything I need to know about him?
Oh, well, I don't know what the moment would be. I mean, I had a great chat with Robert when I arrived. I mean, I think not necessarily the surprising thing, but the great thing about Robert, aside from his genius and how quick-witted he is and how clever he is and really the fantastic ideas that he has, aside from all of that clever stuff, he's a really genuinely lovely guy. So if you're having a difficulty with something, if you're sort of needing to just slow down, if you just need to rehearse something a bit more, he's completely complicit. He's completely open to it, you know. So that, I suppose, was surprising. I might have gotten the impression that...
me too, actually, because I remember the first time I met him, he came on set on a day when he wasn't shooting anything, but he came in specifically to come and introduce himself, and
Oh, wow.
and was just so remarkably gracious and
Yeah.
generous, and I thought, actually, that says it all, the fact that he did that, and,
Right.
you know, went out of his way to come in and...
If he were a jerk, would you tell me?
No.
Well... Maybe not in so many words.
Well,
but,
now
you
I'm
know.
wondering.
We wouldn't be so nice.
Okay,
Joe. You
okay,
can't
fair
tell.
enough. So, you know, I've always wondered, like, whenever you go to the premiere and you're watching yourself and you're playing kind of a villainous character, do you cheer for yourself? Do you like say like, hey, like, go me? Like,
Look, the only thing I'm looking at is whether or not the performance works or not,
Right.
to be honest. You know, and if
You
it...
have to be a bit delusional if you start.
Yes, that's right. Go me.
Just like
Yeah.
describing a bad person there.
That's right.
Yeah, how dare you?
No, so I
little
think
nut.
I'm just, you know, hopefully the first time you see a film is not at a premiere. I know the first time you saw it was at the London premiere or special screening, but you know, you're wanting to see it on your own, really, just in case it is terrible and you can cringe to yourself and then not go to the premiere
Right.
because you don't want to be with everybody. You know.
and that's always fascinating too, because you guys see it, you know, obviously few times before the movie actually comes out. By the time it comes out, are you
Saturday.
sick of it?
Well, again, if it's good,
Yeah,
and if you're
hopefully.
good,
Yeah,
then it's
right.
fine.
Then it's fine.
If you're bad, then it's bad.
It's always an honor to sit across from you, and I'll see you guys again soon when you come through Houston.
Yeah, on your couch.
Yeah, on my couch. Take care, guys. Good to see you.
Cheers.
Take care.
We do need backup.
That's your department.
Here's my boys.